Yes, actually, I don't think he needed a PR makeover, but I do think his most recent trip was very beneficial for him. The press coming out was a bit softer than it usually is, and obviously he donated a lot of money, I think 1 million, to a children's charity that came out. So he actually packed in a lot in his short time here in the UK. But he also said that he's hoping to, because the trip was so successful, he's hoping to spend a bit more time in the UK. So I do think that's only a good thing. And that came off the back of him meeting his father for the first time in, I think, over 2 years, face to face. And it was a 55-minute meeting. So that seemed to go quite well. And he said that he wants to focus more on his father in the coming year, and hopefully spend a bit more time in the UK as well, which is good because I think he does miss a lot of the charities that he worked so closely with here in the UK. And also, he has the Invictus Games coming up. That's in 2027. So that will be based in Bristol, as far as I know. And so, yeah, we're going to see a lot more of Prince Harry, I think.
I'm not buying it.
It seems to raise the question, though. I mean, if he's so desperate to come back to the United Kingdom, he loved the trip so much, why did he something off in the first place?
Well, I don't think he was left with much choice, really. He was vilified in the press, and he had to protect Meghan. He's seen what the press done to his mother, so I don't think he was willing to take the risk on that one. And actually, this time round, during a conversation with The Guardian, he did say that he's more inclined now to bring Archie and Lilibet to the UK, which is a massive step for him because we know there was problems with security and all of that. So I know that he was very cautious of bringing his family back here, just for safety reasons. So the fact that this trip went so well for him, even him considering bringing his children here in the future, is a good step, and it'll be great for Prince Charles and Camilla to get to know them properly.
Brits are yelling for Harry. He misses a lot of the charities he worked so closely with here in the UK. Royal journalist Ellen Coughlan says Prince Harry's trip to the UK was beneficial to him and his public image. That simple truth ripples outward, stretching across landscapes, communities and generations, reminding everyone that Harry is more than a prince. He is a presence, a force, a human being, whose impact is measured not by titles, but by tangible change. From London to rural villages, from bustling city centres to the quiet halls of hospitals and charity offices, the echoes of his absence have been felt profoundly, and the excitement of his return, however brief, is palpable, electric, and deeply stirring. When Harry first stepped back onto British soil, he was greeted not merely by cameras and press lines, but by the invisible currents of loyalty, love, and respect that had never wavered. Veterans remembered his unwavering support during times of hardship, moments when he had knelt beside them in hospital rooms, listened to their stories of courage, and worked tirelessly to ensure their sacrifices were honoured. Youth organisations recalled his ability to connect, to inspire, to bring hope to children who had never thought their voices mattered. Families touched by grief remembered his empathy, the gentle but firm way he would comfort, uplift, and encourage them. In every corner of the UK, Harry was not just seen, he was felt, as though his very presence reinvigorated the charities and causes he had nurtured over the years. Ellen Coughlan's admission that the trip benefited him and his public image may seem straightforward on the surface, but the layers beneath it are intricate, revealing the nuances of Harry's relationship with his homeland. His public image, often the target of relentless scrutiny and polarizing narratives, has always been complex. He has been depicted as rebellious, as a maverick, as a son who turned away from tradition. Yet he has also been celebrated as a hero, a compassionate leader, a man of deep integrity. This visit was not simply about optics. It was a reminder that Prince Harry's roots in service are genuine, unshakable, and enduring. The UK, in its collective memory, remembers the countless initiatives, the hours of dedication, and the personal sacrifices he made, and the public's overwhelming response attests to the lasting impact of those contributions. Consider the charities themselves. Invictus Games, the cornerstone of Harry's post-military humanitarian work, represents more than a sporting event. It is a movement, a declaration that the wounded, the injured, and the resilient can rise and thrive, their stories celebrated on a global stage. His involvement was never ceremonial. He lived and breathed the mission, engaging directly with participants, sharing in their triumphs and challenges, and creating a platform that gave them dignity, visibility, and pride. The absence of his personal touch in recent years has been keenly felt, and every cheer for his return is intertwined with recognition of the void left by that absence. Similarly, charities like Wellchild, which support sick children and their families, have been profoundly impacted by Harry's consistent presence. It is one thing to donate funds, but it is entirely another to visit hospitals, to sit on the floor with children in their most vulnerable moments, to speak to parents with empathy, and to celebrate milestones that would otherwise pass unnoticed. In these spaces, Harry became more than a prince. He became a symbol of care, of unwavering attention, and of humanity. When Brits call for Harry, they are calling for that very embodiment of compassion and presence that cannot be replicated by protocol or position alone. Then there is Centre Bali, the organisation he co-founded to support children and young people affected by HIV in southern Africa. His dedication transcended borders, demonstrating that his commitment to service was not limited by geography. And yet, despite his global focus, he never severed ties with his homeland. The UK's charities felt his absence keenly because the depth of his engagement, his mentorship, his advocacy, his active participation cannot be replaced. Each initiative bore the hallmark of his authenticity, and his return, even temporarily, reignited hope and optimism in ways that money, titles, or press releases never could. The British public's yearning is both personal and symbolic. It is personal because Harry represents a connection to causes and values that matter deeply to individuals and communities alike. It is symbolic because his presence embodies a vision of leadership grounded in empathy, courage, and hands-on engagement. When Ellen Coughlan speaks of the benefits to his public image, she is acknowledging the reality that visibility is powerful. But what amplifies that power is authenticity. And Harry's authenticity resonates with the public in ways that few modern royals can achieve. Across cities, towns, and villages, the collective memory of Harry's work surfaces in myriad ways. In London, charity offices bustle with stories of his visits, his encouragement, and the doors he opened. In Birmingham, veterans reflect on the times he attended events without fanfare, showing humility and a true desire to honour their service. In Manchester, youth leaders recount initiatives that brought marginalised children into programmes where they could thrive, discover talents, and build confidence. Even in the smallest rural towns, whispers of his presence are not lost. The moments he spent without cameras, away from pomp and ceremony, are remembered as acts of sincerity and devotion. Brits are yelling for Harry because they are calling for the embodiment of this enduring commitment. The chants echo through history, through streets and corridors, through hearts and minds. They remind everyone that royalty, when combined with genuine compassion and dedication, can transcend traditional boundaries. They question the cost of alienation, of distance, of separation from causes that matter deeply to the people. And they affirm the enduring power of a prince who has chosen service over spectacle, empathy over entitlement, and authenticity over protocol. His visit, brief as it may have been, created ripples that extended far beyond the immediate events. Media coverage, while initially focused on appearances and optics, quickly shifted to narratives of genuine reconnection. Stories highlighted the tangible difference his presence made, reinforcing Ellen Coughlan's observation and amplifying the public's response. Headlines celebrated not just a royal return, but a reconnection with the very soul of service that has defined his life. Veterans, families, and charity staff alike felt seen, heard, and validated, their memories of Harry's dedication reaffirmed by the reality of his renewed engagement. The narrative of absence and return is not new in history, yet in Harry's case, it carries extraordinary resonance. The public is acutely aware that his choice to step back from royal duties was never a rejection of the UK itself, but a personal journey to safeguard family autonomy and well-being. Despite this distance, his heart remained tied to the charities he nurtured, to the causes he championed, and to the people whose lives he touched. The cries for Harry are, in essence, cries for continuity, for the restoration of a presence that has been deeply missed, and for the reaffirmation that one person's commitment can make a difference in innumerable lives. To all my curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and put a comment. Bye bye, see you then in our next episode.